Have you ever picked up a packaged food, flipped it over, and felt completely confused by the label? Calories, percent daily value, ingredients you can't pronounce. Is it healthy? Is it misleading? Is it marketing? In today's lesson, I'm going to teach you how to read food labels with clarity and confidence, using both evidence-based nutrition science and practical functional nutrition insight. Hello and welcome. I am Dr. Ibukun Adedokun, an integrative and functional nutritionist and certified juice therapist. I help individuals prevent and recover from chronic disease by restoring balance through personalized gut health solutions. By the end of this lesson, you will know how to interpret 7 size correctly, what calories really tell you, how to evaluate fats, carbohydrates, protein, and fiber, how to spot added sugars, how to access ingredient list, and how to make smarter, informed food decisions. Let's begin. The most common mistake people make is ignoring the 7 size. It is important to note that the information on a nutrition label typically pertains to a single serving, which may or may not correspond to the actual portion size an individual consumes. For example, if a package says 7 size 1 cup, 7s per container 3, and if you eat the whole package, you must multiply everything by 3 to get the actual calories you consumed. Here is why 7 size matters. It determines the amount of calories, sugar, sodium, fat, percent daily values, and other nutrients listed on the nutrition facts label. All of these values are based on 1 serving, and they change depending on how much you actually consume. At this point, you need to be truthful to yourself by asking the question, how much will I realistically eat? This information will help you determine how many calories you consumed. Calories represent energy, but calories alone do not tell you whether a food is nourishing. Two foods can have the same calories, but very different nutrient density. For example, 200 calories of an ultra-processed snack versus 200 calories of nuts and fruits. We can observe that they have the same energy content, but differ in their effects on blood sugar, satiety, and micronutrients. The ultra-processed snack will lead to rapid blood sugar spikes, is low in fiber and micronutrient density, and provides less satiety. However, nuts and fruits leads to a slower glucose response, are high in fiber and healthy fats, are rich in vitamins and minerals, and keep you full. Instead of obsessing over calories, some things you can focus on are nutrient density, protein content, fiber content, and ingredient quality. Understanding macronutrients. In the macronutrient section of the nutrition label, pay attention to the following: total fat. Look beyond total fat and check the saturated fat and trans fat. Trans fat is the type of fat you typically want to avoid. You want to reduce your intake of saturated fats and increase your intake of mono unsaturated and polyunsaturated fats. Total carbohydrates. Under carbohydrates, you'll see fiber, total sugars, and added sugars. Fiber. Higher fiber often supports blood sugar balance, digestive health, satiety. Added sugars. Added sugars are separated from natural sugars. General guidance. 0 to lower added sugar is better. Be cautious when added sugar is high in the ingredient list. I personally choose items with 0 added sugar because I want the products to be as natural as possible. Protein. Protein supports muscle maintenance, hormone production, immune health. Check if the food provides meaningful protein, especially in meals or snacks. Sodium and micronutrients. Sodium intake can add up quickly. As a general guidance, 5% daily value or less is low, 20% daily value or more is high. Excess sodium intake is common in packaged foods. Next, look at iron, calcium, vitamin D, and potassium. These micronutrients are often included because they are public health priorities. Percent daily value shows how much a nutrient contributes to a daily intake based on a 2,000 calorie diet. It is a general reference and it may or may not reflect your personal needs. Please take note, the DV is not as precise as the RDA. So while the percent DV is useful for comparing food products or making quick judgments about the nutritional value of a food, it's better to use the RDA if you're looking for your individual nutrient requirements. The ingredients list. The ingredient list consists of all ingredients listed from most to least predominant by weight in the product. The order of ingredients is useful for assessing a product's nutritional value. The following are some questions to ask. Is sugar listed multiple times under different names? Are whole foods listed first? Are there artificial additives or preservatives? Common added sugar names include high fructose corn syrup, cane sugar, maltose dextrose syrup. More ingredients do not automatically mean unhealthy, but highly processed foods often have longer lists. A key takeaway is that it is important to choose foods as close to their natural state as possible. Marketing claims versus reality. The front of package claims can be misleading. For example, low fat may be high in sugar. All natural are not always tightly regulated. Multigrain may not mean whole grain. Gluten-free is not automatically healthier. Always verify claims by checking ingredient list and the nutrition facts panel. Types of claims. The types of claims include nutrient claims, health claims, and structure function claims. Food labels often contain FDA-required information and claims about nutrient content and health benefits. These claims are regulated by the FDA to provide consumers with accurate, science-based information and to ensure food safety. Nutrient claims. Nutrient claims are statements regulated by the FDA that provide straightforward information about the level of a nutrient or calories in the food, such as fat-free, low-calorie, or reduced sodium. The FDA regulates nutrient claims with specific requirements for each. Low-sodium claims have 140 mg or less per serving, while reduced sodium claims have 25% less. High in, rich in, and excellent source claims contain 20% DV or more. Health claims. Health claims are statements on food packaging that link the food or a component in the food to reducing the risk of a disease. Health claims are either authorized health claims or qualified health claims. Authorized health claims are claims that have stronger scientific evidence to back them than qualified health claims. The FDA requires significant scientific agreements, also known as SSA, among qualified experts to approve an authorized health claim about a low-sodium food. The claim must support the totality of publicly available scientific evidence for a substance or disease relationship. The FDA also requires careful language such as may reduce and a disease associated with many factors to ensure the validity of the substance or disease relationship. For example, a food that is low in sodium is considered to have less than 140 mg of sodium per serving, per the FDA. For the manufacturer to use the authorized health claim on their products, the FDA requires a great deal of evidence before allowing food manufacturers to claim that their products can reduce the risk of a disease. Qualified health claims are claims that have some evidence to support them, but not as much, so there's less certainty that these claims are true. Qualified health claims have limited evidence, reducing certainty. The FDA reviews this evidence and determines its level of scientific certainty. For instance, scientific evidence suggests but does not prove that eating 1.5 ounces per day of most nuts, such as name of specific nut, as part of a diet low in saturated fat and cholesterol may reduce the risk of heart disease. Structure function claims. These are vague statements about nutrients playing some role in health processes, not regulated by the FDA. Health claims are precise and scientifically supported, while structure function claims are vague statements about nutrients' role in health processes. These claims are allowed by the FDA, but not specifically approved or regulated. Putting it all together, here's a simple 5-step checklist. Check 7 size. Pay attention to the calories. Evaluate fiber and added sugars. Assess protein. Review ingredients. Also check to see if the food supports nutrient density. The amount of sodium is reasonable. Has minimal added sugars. Contains recognizable ingredients. And does it fit well into a balanced dietary pattern? Putting the nutrition facts panel to work for you. This slide is an example of how you can use nutrition facts on food labels to achieve your dietary goals. The My Plate logo on a food item means that the product aligns with the U.S. Department of Agriculture's guidelines. My Plate dietary guidelines serve as a nutrition education tool to help consumers make healthier food choices, visualize balanced meals, follow portion and food group recommendations. To use nutrition facts on food labels, consider your dietary goals. For example, if you're looking to reduce saturated fat or increase fiber, you would look at the percent daily value for saturated fat or fiber. Start by checking the serving size and comparing it to your usual intake. For example, if you typically consume the entire can of soup, double the calorie and nutrient information. Additionally, consider the sodium content, as most Americans consume too much sodium, increasing the risk of high blood pressure. Reducing sodium may be a wiser choice. Looking at the slide, we can observe that the regular soup has 680 milligrams or 28% of the daily value for sodium. If you eat the entire can, that equals 1,360 milligrams or 56% of the daily value because there are 2 servings per container. That's a lot of sodium. The reduced sodium soup may be the better choice here. Another important takeaway from this slide is why you must always flip the product over and read the nutrition facts label. At first glance, both cans appear very similar. They are both vegetable soups. They both show the same calories, 160 per serving. They even display a USDA-style logo on the front, which can create the impression that they are nutritionally equivalent. But when you turn the cans over and look closely at the nutrition facts panel, you see a major difference. There is double the sodium in one compared to the other, even though the front labels look nearly identical. Conclusion. Understanding food labels gives you the power to make informed food choices. It is important to note that food labels are tools. When used correctly, they help you nourish your body with clarity, not confusion. If this lesson has helped you, like and share this video, subscribe for more nutrition education, and check out my next lesson on tools for achieving a healthy diet. Remember, healthy eating begins with understanding. These are my references. See you in the next video.